Day 1. We left home around 8 and headed off to our first stop at Toowoomba. We arrived in Toowoomba, fueled up and put on some warmer gear as it had gotten a bit chilly. We then headed off to our next stop at Millmerran. The sky was a bit overcast, but after about 30 minutes the clouds cleared and the temperature began to increase back to a pleasant level. As we headed into Millmerran, we spotted a painted water tower. We pulled up for a photo, then continued on to town for a bite to eat. As we were heading back to the bike, we met an old bloke who had seen us looking at the water tower. He told us about the painted towers in his town. Anyway, we continued on, and after about an hour, pulled up for the wife to have a stretch. Just as we were about to get back on the move, a ute pulled up in front of us. It was the old bloke. He came over and said he had found some photos that he'd had printed up of the water towers he had in his town. The pictures were great, and he said if he ever made our way into his town, we should ask any of the locals for the bloke with the beard and say hi. Anywho, we said goodbye and got back on the highway. Our next stop was Goondiwindi for fuel. After that, we continued on to our final stop of the day in Moree, where we caught up with an old OzSTOC member, JF3000, and his missus. We caught up with them for a few hours and then headed out to dinner in town. It was awesome. Day 1, done and dusted. Day 2, we rode through town and then a whole lot of roadworks before we finally got up to highway speed. Although we did continue to run into more roadworks as the ride continued. At around 11, we had our first stop for a short break in Narrabri. We then continued on through town, and after hitting the highway, we began to cover some actual distance. We continued on, and after a while, began to ride over some damp roads. We stopped for a picture with the planet Saturn, then rode into Coonabarabran through a light shower. We fueled up, then pulled in for a bite to eat. We parked next to a nice outfit, a motorbike with a sidecar, then headed in to a nearby bakery for a feed. When we got back to the bike, the outfit had gone, but as we were gearing up, the rider returned. It turns out he had been a member of OzSTOC years ago, and along with a few other outfits, he has a 2004 ST1300 that he is going to be selling soon. He said he would rejoin the club and put the bike up for sale. After a chat, we said our goodbyes and took off. The going was great for a while before we again ran into more roadworks. This time the road was stripped back to hard-packed dirt. Onwards we went, through some more showers. We passed some beautiful roadside bushes that were a beautiful yellow, maybe an orange, and on into Gilgandra for a leg stretch. We continued on through some more light showers and past some more of the yellow bushes, then passed through Dubbo. We finally ran into proper rain that continued for the remainder of the day. After a while, we arrived in Parkes, our final stop for the day. We pulled into the Moonraker Motel and unpacked the bike. The motel is run by a couple of nice Indian blokes and has a restaurant. The room was big and comfy with a large bed, couch and tables and chairs. Day 2, done and dusted. Thanks for watching.